I agree with everything that Gordon just said. Look, on the military front, we don't need to match China ship for ship. China now has, by one estimate I saw that leaked from the U.S. Navy, 200 times our shipbuilding capacity. But what we have, because we have a qualitative edge, because we still attract the most talented, people in the world, we still have a more efficient system of investing in innovative technologies. We can acquire qualitative edges over Beijing militarily that would render a lot of the brute investment that China's making wasteful. And that's really what happened during the Cold War when we got it right. During the 70s, we saw that the Soviet Union was actually, for the first time, exceeding our nuclear arsenal in quantitative terms. They were building a huge capacity of conventional arms that we wouldn't have been able to stand up against just using our tanks and the soldiers that we had available in Europe in the event that the Soviets came in. So what we ended up doing was investing in silicon chips. We began making weapons that were smarter and more fearsome without having to match the Soviets dollar for dollar, tank for tank, ship for ship. And that ended up working. It persuaded the Soviets that they could not win in a Cold War or in a hot war. And that's what really led to the self-doubts in the Soviet system that allowed people, including elites within the Soviet Communist Party, to say, well, you know, if we're not going to beat the Americans, and we have an inferior economy, we have to repress our people internally, maybe we should start rethinking the fundamental pillars of this system. And that's exactly what happened. Reagan was willing to engage with the Soviets, but only from a position of strength as perceived by both the Soviets and the Americans. And he also waited until the Soviets produced a leader that he could do business with, and that came in the form of Mikhail Gorbachev. Right now, Xi Jinping is not Mikhail Gorbachev. In fact, Xi Jinping villainizes Gorbachev in some of his speeches. One of his most important speeches that Xi Jinping gave in his first month in office was an attack on Gorbachev. So we're not going to be able to do business with Xi Jinping. He means us harm. We're going to have to actually develop a position of strength by investing wisely. I agree with Colin that we can't be everywhere without weakening ourselves in places that really matter. But we can be a lot smarter and more decisive in our use of force in ways that will brush back adversaries like Iran. The Iranians fundamentally fear the United States, but right now they've seen that they can get away with killing Americans in Jordan, shooting at our warships in the Red Sea, massacring civilians through their terrorist proxies in Israel, and we are really reluctant to actually show that we can bear teeth and bite when we need to. I think if we were to do that, we would restore deterrence.